Hello and welcome to Closing the Distance. My name is Jeff Meyers, one of the pastors here at Roswell Presbyterian Church. And I'm sitting here with Krissie Sullivan, formerly Krissie Register, a child of Roswell Presbyterian Church. You grew up here, Krissie, and thanks for joining me.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
So, as you may know, this fall sermon series where it's a conversation between sports and spirituality, sports and scripture, and see how each shines a light on each other. And this past Sunday, I preached a sermon about golf, and it's been the source of a lot of people's misery in their lives because it's a hard game. It's a hard game to master,
Oh, yes,
if anyone ever
definitely. It is
masters it.
hard.
How long have you been playing golf?
So I started golf when I was probably about like 9. I would be my brother was a big golfer. He's 4 years older than me, and he was just all he could talk about was golf. And so my parents ended up joining a golf course because of him. And a few years later, I kind of started just because they would all go up there, and I didn't really like it that much when I first started. I'd get kind of bored with it, but really,
Are we having
hold
connection
on, can you hear
problems?
me? Is my Yeah, I think we might.
And we're back. So, Chris, you
Okay.
were saying when you grew when you first introduced the golf to your parents, your brother was playing. Did you like it early on?
No, so that's kind of what I was saying. I was a big I loved soccer. I liked basketball. I like the more fast-paced sports. So I think I thought golf at first was like a little bit boring. Driving the golf cart was fun, so I liked that. But I also like doing pretty much. I mean, I had, like I said, an older brother, and I just thought he was great, and anything he did, I kind of wanted to do. So I started to. It didn't take me that long to start to like it,
That's awesome.
but
Well,
yes.
I got to tell you, I don't know if you know this, but I was officiated uh, a memorial service for an older gentleman who had been very influential in the Roswell community, especially with athletics. And the legendary director Ray Manis came from Roswell
Hmm.
High School. And so Ray and I were chatting. I don't know Ray that well, so we are just chatting, kind of shooting the breeze. And I asked him, I said, "Who is the best athlete you've ever had come through Roswell High School?" I mean, there's been some legends,
Oh,
absolute
for
legends.
sure.
And he said, "You know what, Jeff?" He said, "There was a young woman who played golf." And he goes, "I think her name was Krissie." And I said, "Krissie Register?" He goes, "Yeah, that's it." I said, "She was the best. You were the best athlete
That's
in his mind to come through Roswell High School."
that is funny. I don't I don't know how he can say that because, like you said, there were some amazing people who had like such great careers. But that was very sweet of him to say
It's very
that. But
sweet. Well, and
yes,
now you've made it to you're a teaching professional at Brookfield Country Club, correct?
yes, yeah.
So golf
So
is kind
that's
of
kind
part
of
of your profession.
yeah. It's funny because like it's something I never, growing up, if I didn't play professionally, I was like, I really don't think I want to do anything in the business. And look at me now. But it's been good. I've enjoyed it. It's a great it's definitely somewhat of a like a part-time job, but I love it. It's been nice. I've been there, I'd say at Brookfield for like almost 17 years now. So
Oh, wow.
teaching and
Wow.
stuff. Yeah.
Okay, so
So
let's get through I want to go through your career and then we'll talk a little bit about the game. So you played at Roswell High, and then did you play in college?
and then yeah, I played in college. I went to University of Arizona and played there. So and then after graduating, then I went on. It was like the
And
mini mainly, yeah, at
Arizona is
Arizona.
one of the best women's teams in the country, right?
We did like well, so we ended up winning. We won nationals my freshman year and stuff, and then every year after that. But I don't think we went in. It was funny, like our freshman year, like we started off. I think when I signed with them, they were maybe I think ranked. They were definitely in the top 20 and stuff. But I think our team just started to really click that spring season. We ended up winning our conference regionals and then nationals. So it was fun. It was a fun group of girls. So it was a neat experience.
That's really cool. So you play at Arizona, then did you try to go play professionally?
Yeah, so then I played a few LPGA tournaments. I got to play a US Open, but I played mainly on at that point was called the Futures Tour. I think it's changed names like Symetra Tour and maybe has even changed since then. But
Yeah.
yeah, so that was like the feeder tour into the LPGA.
So you
So
made a
yeah, so I
US
did that
Open.
for like probably like gosh, 4 years, probably too long, but yeah, that's about how long I played
Good for you.
professionally. Yeah.
And where was the US Open that you played in?
I played in it when it was up in Pine Needles up in North Carolina, right near Pinehurst area. They actually, I think just last year, one of these years, they just had it there again. I don't know when, but that was in 1996. I just finished my freshman year of actually college, and then I had and qualified for it. Yeah, it was fun.
That's amazing. Well,
Yeah.
when you're sitting down with somebody who wants to learn to play, do you encourage people to play golf? Do you think it's a good thing?
Yeah, absolutely. And as I give a lot of my lessons are to like beginners, beginner kids or beginner women. Like this morning, I do like an 8 o'clock ladies clinic in the morning and stuff. And so yeah, I get a variety. I get ladies who've played for a long time and then some who are brand new. Yeah, I absolutely encourage it. It's a fun sport. You can do it, your whole life. It's great.
When you're starting off, what kind of instruction do you give people when somebody who's a beginner at golf?
Beginner, so kind of look at the basics. How's your grip, your stance, how far are you standing away, making sure you have good balance, and then just try to keep golf as simple as possible, which is hard, right? Because you
Yeah.
start to think of like, okay, where am I supposed to have my hands and everything? But the more I can make it to where, I always try to like have that analogy, like when you're playing tennis and the tennis ball's coming, you're not thinking of all the mechanics. But when we're standing over a golf ball, we have so much time to like think, okay, I got to do this, I got to do that. Oh gosh, there's water, and stuff. So I try to make it a little bit more of like a reactionary sport. Look at your target, swing, and hit. And I think it usually goes better that way. And then being relaxed, that's a big part of golf,
Yes.
learning how to relax. Yeah.
Um, so, and then what was the strongest part of your game? Was it driving, wedges? Was it putting?
I mean, so I was usually straight off the tee, not long, not a very long hitter at all. So when I played on high school, I was on an all boys team and I had played their tees, so the back tees and everything. So I got really good at hitting fairway woods because it was driver, fairway wood, into all my greens. And usually I still couldn't reach the greens. And so I would like have to chip and putt. So I would have to say I have pretty good accuracy off the tee. And then it was definitely by far putting and chipping. That was my game in college
Really?
because I didn't hit a lot of greens. So yeah, it was bad.
Your chipping and putting must have been very good then.
Yeah, it definitely was my best part for sure.
That's awesome. Well, when you think about, and I want people to know I mean, you were confirmed at Roswell Presbyterian Church. You're raising your son here, you and your husband. Your parents go here. So you've been at RPC a long time. And so um, when you think about golf and spirituality and the connections, you listen to the sermon on Sunday. Do you think that's a valid connections, or you're kind of like, whatever, Jeff?
No, oh, absolutely. Yeah, I think so much. And with golf is, that difference between, some sports where you're going in there with that, like you got to give it all and everything. With golf, it's interesting because you kind of want to be more like centered, more home with golf. And, looking at spirituality, I kind of relate that to, that idea of spending that time being still in prayer and meditation to kind
Mm.
of set the stage for your day, for your life. And then also and then when you're in golf, again, being calm, giving yourself enough time before you tee off to get there. So I like that. And then like how you said in the sermon, golf is not a game of perfect. Life is not a game of perfect. And a lot of it, I look at golf is like, how do you react to different shots? How do you react to getting in trouble or just getting a bad bounce? Are you, can you not let that last hole go and move on? And similar in life, as well. I think that's a real big correlation.
And when you bring up like having a bad hole in golf, every golfer will have bad holes. It's inevitable,
Mhm.
right? Even Scotty Scheffler, right? Even
Right. Absolutely.
the mental game. How do you move on and keep yourself centered? Um,
I think so for me, I maybe have approached golf a little bit differently, but I think, for me, a lot of, especially when I got to high school age, at first I would put so much pressure on myself of like, when I started playing in bigger tournaments, how did I perform? How did I place and everything? And that was really hard. You can really put a lot of pressure on yourself. And I kind of switched over to, I can't always control everything, but I can control my attitude. I can always stay positive. And I think that really, clicked on for me. And so, yeah, you have a bad hole. That's just going to happen. That's part of golf. And it's a new hole. And sometimes that can be really helpful. And even, I'll be out there with our ladies and they're like, I had a terrible front. And I'm like, well, guess what? You got a whole new nine and stuff. And looking at it that way. And then, maybe I just made a double or a triple or, but I got another hole. Maybe I can make a par, maybe a birdie. And, so, and
Yes.
it's never trying to force it. It's just like, okay, got a new opportunity.
Wow. And how do you balance that between being aggressive but also not forcing it?
Um, I think a lot. So again, when I would play in college, I would try to, I would kind of have like a number I would look at, that's kind of like what I'd like to shoot, but it was usually a little bit higher than I knew that I could. And that just gave me more comfort. I am not one that you're like, you got to put so much pressure on yourself, to perform. I would be like, okay, it's okay if I don't shoot that. And that's usually when I would play my best.
Yes.
Usually, I mean, not caring so much about the outcome. And I know that that's kind of not the way a lot of people think, but I think when you're having fun, when you're enjoying the process, that's when you're going to play the best. Don't think so much about exactly the outcome, but enjoy the process. And I think golf is neat that way because you're playing against the course, right? You're not always playing against somebody else. You're playing against the course, and I think that's just kind of how I looked at golf.
Yeah.
So,
Somebody asked me to play golf not too long ago. They were asking me to play at East Lake, right? It was really
okay,
nice, really hard
nice.
golf course. And I was like, oh man, my game is not in great shape. I'm going to be embarrassed. He goes, oh,
Mm.
wait, hold on there, Jeff. I could give a rip about what you should shoot. All I care is my score. I
That's a
thought it was
funny.
really
That
funny.
is hilarious, right? Yeah.
You know,
Yep.
and I love a game that's really a competition with yourself, trying to get better.
It is. Yep. I think that exactly. I think you spoke that very well. Yes.
Now, I know your son is learning to play the game of golf. How are you, when we think of, and how old is he?
He's almost 13.
Okay, so almost a teenager. So when
Mhm.
they're kind of emerging as athletes and getting their teenagers, how do you encourage young people to pick up the game and learn it?
I think, yeah, like, I mean, if you can, just getting out there right now with Caleb, probably working more. He's done more baseball than he has golf for sure growing up, but he's having more of an interest in golf. I'm working on the short game a lot. Like, start there. I always recommend if you have a kid, kind of start with the short game, right? Kids usually love to really swing. At least Caleb does. He like tries to kill the ball, and I'm like, okay, wait, it goes so much further if you don't try to kill it. But yeah, like with him working on the short game, and then also again working on his attitude. Like golf, like is so frustrating. It can be so frustrating, and the more we can be like, it's okay, it's okay. You're gonna have bad shots. Don't worry about it. You're gonna have plenty of good shots too.
Yes. And it's, these young men, it's tough for us to
Mm.
keep our wits about us and stay
Yes,
calm and
yes.
patient. But there's something so important about that. And I think when you, I mean, this is one of the things I think is great about sports is when you develop that muscle of patience, of positivity, that flows into the other parts of your life, I think.
Oh, absolutely. Yes, yeah.
Do you
Yep.
think that's true? Do you think you've seen that happen for people?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I'm coaching for the past few years. I help out coaching at Fellowship. I right now I'm working with their middle school team, and then in the spring their high school girls team. So yeah, so that is fun. I really just try to like work on more than anything. Some of them are, a lot of them come with their instructors, so it's more I'm just trying to encourage them and like the mental side of golf and absolutely. So
Yes.
it's
So when you think about like not a game of perfect, do you think has there ever been a perfect golfer?
perfect. I mean, you have amazing, great golfers out there, and I think it's so funny because a lot of them, what is that? The number they're trying to shoot is it 54? Right? You've heard that before.
Oh
That
yeah.
is what they call the perfect game, where you make a birdie on every hole. and
Yes.
stuff, right? So I don't know if anyone's
But shouldn't you have a
how
couple
close they've
eagles
come.
too?
Yeah, I know they don't. I don't know why. I guess they're not counting the Eagles. Maybe if you get an Eagle, then you can mess up and have a par. I'm not sure, but yeah, no, there's no perfect golfers. They all have, um, but that's an interesting thing.
Yeah, it's it's kind of funny. Um, well, and then Chrissy, who's the best golfer you've ever coached?
That I've coached. And like I teach a lot of beginners. So yeah, that's definitely more beginners. I will say though, I see like working with some of these girls on fellowship. I mean, I see so much like potential in them. And like I like tell them all the time, I was like, you guys have such better swings than I ever had. I was like,
Really?
they're just not quite getting, I don't think they have the confidence quite yet. I definitely think that's holding them back a little bit. And then again, the short game probably a little bit too, but yeah, it's impressive to see some of these kids and then some young ones coming up through the middle school. They look pretty good as well.
Well,
So
well, I want to ask you some golf nerd questions that people I know
yeah.
want to ask you. What's your favorite course you've ever played?
Favorite course. Oh gosh. We every year we would go to, and this is a big reason I kind of chose Arizona. I love their travel schedule. They had an awesome travel schedule. We went to California a lot, but we also came out to the East Coast. But we would play a tournament every year in Hawaii. And so that was super fun. We actually played at the military base on Oahu. I don't know if you've ever
Oh,
been there. So it wasn't like the most amazing course, but they had three beautiful holes on the ocean. I love that course. We did get to play Waialae out there. That was really pretty. So, yeah, I like the island golf courses. Around here, growing up, we used to vacation a lot in Amelia Island, and again, they had some ocean. I like ocean golf courses. I've never played
yes.
Pebble Beach like I saw in your sermon, so that looks amazing. But so those are some of my favorite golf courses, and then
That's
yeah.
cool. If you okay, you're playing
Mhm.
and wherever, and you get to fill out your foursome, who are you going to invite to play with you? And it could be anybody.
Oh gosh, oh I don't know. Um, I've never played with you, Jeff, so I'd put you in there, okay?
I am honored.
Yes, yes. I mean, right now it's fun. I met my husband on the golf course, so I love, getting to play with him. We have not played golf yet this year at all. Anybody in my family. So, but our foursome for the golf tournament for the church, I'm having my mom and Caleb and Chris, my husband. So that'll be a fun
Oh,
group.
that's
Yeah,
great.
yeah,
That's a great
yeah.
foursome.
So, mhm.
And then what's your favorite golf memory that you have?
Oh gosh. Hmm. Again, winning nationals that my freshman year, that was really fun.
Yes.
Playing in the US Open was super fun. I have a lot of great memories of, just growing up here at Brookfield, getting to play a lot of golf with my parents and my brother. And then I had a couple friends that were played on the guys team with me and just getting to play with them a lot and some of their parents and stuff. Those were some really just great memories. And I always look, and now that I'm out there, coaching these girls, like it just brings back all of a sudden, I don't know if it's the smell of the golf course, it just transports me back to that time when
Yeah.
I was their age and, the support that I got from my family. So,
That's really
yeah.
awesome. Well, I remember when I played with a foursome for I think it was the North Fulton Community Charities fundraiser. I forget where it was, a local golf course here in Roswell. And and I was new to the church, right? I'd only been here maybe a year. And they were announcing the winners. And I remember it was like three guys and a girl got up, and I was like, and she had a hat on. I was like, wait, I think she goes to my church. And then I looked in the directory and I'd like texted a couple of staff. They're like, yeah, that's Krissie Sullivan. Yes, she's been here forever. And I was like, and they're like, yeah, and she's an incredible golfer. I'm like, doggone it, I need to get her on my team next year.
That's right. I love the Monday scrambles. Yeah, for a while I was playing that. It was with those group of guys. They've all kind of like moved to different states. They were hilarious. They invited me because I got to play the ladies' tees, I
Yep.
think, and that would help them. But it was fun. Those I love scrambles, and that is, a lot of people want to know, like, well, that's not pure golf, but to me, that is such fun golf, and I love scrambles. So
I love scrambles because it really
Mhm.
takes the pressure off because
It
as you
does. It
scramble
is.
and
Yep.
that's
Makes
really
it kind
cool.
of more of a little bit of a team kind of thing. Yeah, I love scrambles. So
Yeah, I do too. All right, Krissie, time is up. Thank you so much for taking time out of
yeah,
your busy schedule to
yeah.
talk
No, thank
golf and
you.
spirituality. And it's been really fascinating. And I hope to see you out on the course soon. We'll see everybody September 15th, Monday at Brookfield Country Club for the RPC Mission Outreach Golf Tournament. Take care, Krissie. See you soon.
Thank you.